This is my Viva for subject FIN332. My name is Danil Sinkin. My student code is 8085766. I'm gonna go over everything super briefly because it's 23 pages long and I have 5 minutes to talk about all of it. So, question 2 is event-driven strategy. Is it good or not for trading assets? The assets I picked, because the question gave me a lot of liberty, was essentially Forex. What does that include? No, not Forex. It was pairs, trading pairs, and betting on one against the other. It was Forex, it was commodities, and it was crypto. Right? The two events I picked was Trump issuing an ultimatum to Iran to comply to open Strait of Hormuz, I believe, yeah, or their energy infrastructure is gonna get bombed. And the second one was on the 18th when the Fed announced the new rate. Right? What did I find out? I found out that it's pretty much gambling because you need to open your position before it starts. So you need to essentially know what's going to happen. Are they going to cut them? Are they not going to cut them? And in both of my cases, I completely won across the board. In the case of the Trump, and in case of Fed, I lost across the board because I predicted it poorly. And that's exactly kind of what I have to say. It's super dangerous. I would not recommend because risk is too great. It's super volatile. You'll never I would suggest avoiding. I'm glad it was a demo account because I would be screwed over completely. You can see the entirety of my logs and everything if you want to go deeper into each trade that I made. Right? Then question 3. Can I buy right strategy whether or not it can beat equity return? Answer is no. As a matter of fact, equity return beat, in my case at least, it beat the new strategy, the BWS, because some of my stock, I believe, yeah, it was ATO, that in 5 years, the total return was 112%, right? But when you're opening options, you're capping yourself. So you only get 66% in that case. However, it's still decently improved, maybe a little bit. For example, in the case of GL, in the case of SPLV index, it increased a little bit the return due to the premium that you get on top of it. But if it skyrockets, you just lose out. It decreased volatility significantly. So I concluded that BWS wasn't really violating EMS or anything like that. It totally is not giving abnormal returns. It's not a cheat code, none of that. It's a very good risk mitigation strategy, is what it is. And it's just not a cheat code, as I said. Question 4. Is the bond market lucrative? And the answer to that, I gave immediately in the introduction, immediately in the conclusion, because I felt I wouldn't beat around the bush, right? The answer is yes, but you need to it's not like an investment heaven. You can't just buy and leave it and expect huge returns. It's not happening. What you need to do instead, you need to pick your bonds very carefully, and then depending on prediction of the rates, because your yields are gonna affect the evaluation of your portfolio, you will need to change them around, especially in this year when everything's going up and down. The market I picked was UK. The reason for that is because I thought it would be less affected than US market by the whole turmoil, oil prices and everything. And another reason is because I'm writing so many reports about US, I wanted to look at the new market. So I decided to pick UK. So ultimately, I understood that for duration convexity, it increased with yield, meaning that we're more sensitive to the changes in interest rate and all of that stuff. So you need to be careful. Yes, longer yields will get you more returns if interest rate will drop in the future. However, at the moment, it's not very smart to have entirety of your portfolio in long. You want it in short because you want to be liquid, and in the case of something going wrong, them climbing even more, you will lose out a lot. And if it's very short, you get your money back and you reinvest it, right? Much easier to sell So yeah, you can read about that more in my strategies. Uh, yeah, I believe that's all I said. I had to source obviously every single number I took from the Fed from the UK. And I'll just have to say this was a very long weekend. So best of luck and have good vacation.